Welcome to Boxed In, Yahoo Sports' debate show. I'm Dalton Del Don, and today I'll be talking some Friday Night Lights with Mike Oz and Matt Harmon, debating the best player from the show. This was a great show. It's one of my wife's favorites all time. Season 2 can probably be skipped because of the writer's strike involved, but man, what a great show. It got explosions in the sky with the score, Buzz Bissinger and Peter Berg both involved, but it's been a long time since I've last watched it, so I'm mostly going to step aside, let these guys do most of the talking. So with clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose, let me cede the floor.
I will start us off. I am here today representing the case of Smash Williams. I think we start here, right? We are not arguing who is the best character on the show. Let's make that clear. This is not the Matt Saracen Award. We are talking about football. And I think if we're talking about football throughout the show, Smash Williams is regarded and shown as the best player. Early on, he is shown as him and Jason Street are going to take this team and, they're going to win state. Jason Street gets hurt. Smash Williams is now the star. End of season 1, wins state championship with the last minute touchdown. There's a lot of ups and downs with Smash's career. But as we go throughout the rest of this show, they don't have to bring him back, but they make a point throughout the show to, show him on TV. The next generation of kids see, oh, Smash just scored a touchdown at Texas A&M. And I think that, to me, that's what makes him the pick here, because in that world, you kind of need someone who is like, that's the OG. That's the guy that we're all aspiring to be. And on Friday Night Lights, it was Smash Williams. He was the guy. Not the best character, there's better characters, but in terms of football, he was the guy. He was recruited by Alabama. He ended up at Texas A&M. We'll get into all this stuff, but if we're just talking about the football, the arc of Friday Night Lights as it was that Smash was the best.
All right, Matt, what's your counter?
Yeah, my counter is Vince. Look, I will also just echo Oz's statement that this is not about the best character of the show, because my personal vote for best character of the show is Buddy Garrity. No, that's a controversial opinion, but my sister and I to this day are still quoting, I don't even know who you are anymore. Like, just sending Buddy Garrity gifts to each other in the group chat, all kinds of stuff. So that's just my one little anecdote about how much we like this show. But my pick is Vince because, he's a total stud. And I know, Oz, you covered baseball, so you might not be up to date with the most, BS minutia of us debating stupid shit in football all the time. But we all know, and Dalton, you can echo this too, running backs don't matter. So, yeah, sure, Smash might be a great player, but Vince excels at the most important position and also plays the game in a way that is conducive with modern football, the mobility, the arm strength. I don't think it's unfair to compare this guy to Cam Newton, like the peak of Cam Newton's career in 2015, big, mobile, strong, like just impossible to tackle in the open field, and also has a damn laser. So I think Vince is clearly the pick here, not just because of positional value, but also just overall impact on the field.
On to question number 2. Who would you consider the most important person to the show? Let's start now with you, Matt.
Yeah, I think Vince, I think Vince is clearly more important to the show. I get it. Smash is, I think you could make an argument that Smash has the better, is the better high school football player. I think I can maybe sort of cede that point to Oz here, but Vince is, he's a lovable character. He's a redemption story character. And that's what this show is all about, especially during this part of the show when Vince becomes one of the main characters, is when the high schools have split. There's, Coach Taylor is now coaching the East Dillon Panthers, and, it becomes this entire thing. And he's the face of that movement. I don't think that you have the rest of the show without a character like Vince to get everybody on board, to be that sort of redemptive arc. And again, I think that's what this show is all about, taking this underdog group of kids and turning them into a powerhouse. And I think that that's what just makes it's what makes this show so lovable, and you fall in love with these characters. And I think it also shows, frankly, it shows a more wider group of like a social status than what we saw in the original group of kids. I think it takes on an entirely different personality when Vince becomes sort of that main figurehead in the show. And I think that is crucial to the show's development beyond just like, oh, here's a bunch of kids, in a high school in Texas. Like again, you got your boosters, Buddy Garrity, that whole thing. It's an entirely different personality once Vince comes into play.
I'll see this point to Matt that he's right in the sense, but part of that is just that Michael B. Jordan's a better actor, right? So Michael B. Jordan is a better actor, does better on the show, has the better relationship with Coach Taylor. I think all of that makes him that makes his character a little more rich, let's say. But I think this is important to talk about with Smash. I think that when we're talking about, if we just look at this as like the football side, there's a whole lot more to this show. But if we just look at the football side, it is very important, I think, in not only high school sports, but high school in general. Like, oh, there was this kid who went to high school here 4 years ago, and he plays college football at this place, and that is important to sort of the foundation and the fabric of what is going on in that show. So I think in that respect, like, again, Smash, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he is the most interesting character on a show of a lot of interesting characters, but you need that foundation, I think, to make all the rest of it work. Because if you don't have him, I mean, he's almost like Coach Taylor, like in that sense, where you need the coach to sort of, have all the kids revolve around, and you need somebody like him to show the rest of these kids, to show Vince Howard, like, hey, you could go be like Smash Williams if you listen to Coach Taylor. So, that's the thing that I think that Smash has in that category. And again, Michael B. Jordan's great. So let's separate the Michael B. Jordan from the Vince Howard character.
Totally fair. That is an advantage because Michael B. Jordan, he's been great. Surprising, the Creed movies are totally watchable, like for sure there. And I think in this show, didn't Vince just start playing football? Like this was like he had not been playing before, right? So that's an added difficulty factor. Let's go to question 3, 2-part question. Start with Oz. What is your 3-word evaluation of the prospect and how would his career pan out at the next level? College or the pros? What are you thinking?
All right. So my 3-word eval on Smash, I'm going to go with Saquon Barkley light. Fast, obviously explosive, can catch the ball. Just shown he can run over some people. But I think that one advantage we have with Smash is that we sort of saw where he could go, right? He got injured towards the end of the show, lost some of his college opportunities, ends up as a walk-on at Texas A&M. And again, we see him throughout the next couple of seasons, not him the character, but they just sort of mention him. They talk about him. There's times where he is, there's Smash on TV scoring a touchdown at Texas A&M. And if you just look at it, he lines up with sort of early Johnny Manziel, Ryan Tannehill stuff at Texas A&M. Not out of the question for me to see that Smash Williams goes to Texas A&M, becomes a guy who can get drafted in the NFL. I'm not looking at him and being like, yeah, this guy's a top 10 pick or anything, but I think he projects to me as someone who could play at the next level.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of the analysis that Oz gave there on Smash. I mean, look, I'm high on Smash, right? I'm high on him as a character, but I think when you look at Vince, the 3-word evaluation: natural, speed, power. And the power is key there because it's not just about what he does as a runner. I think he also, again, he had a cannon. He was a guy who could throw it, spray at all levels of the field. And look, I think if Vince goes on to play at the college level, this is a guy we're talking about as a Heisman Trophy winner. And when we're looking at this era of the NFL right now, if Vince is able to play in 2019, 2020, fingers crossed, NFL season, then we're looking at someone who's coming in at the perfect time because this is an era where we've got creative offensive coaches. We've got guys like Kyle Shanahan not willing to put players in a box. Lamar Jackson's the MVP last year. You've got Patrick Mahomes changing the game. You've got Kyler Murray as the number 1 overall pick. This era of football was made for a player like Vince Howard. So I will be bold here. I would say he'd be a first-round pick in the NFL. I'd say if he gets through the coaching staff that figures it out, a smart, progressive group of coaches, this is someone that could have a long career in the NFL, a multi-year starter, someone that could win playoff games. I think, again, it's that sort of natural talent. And Dalton mentioned it too. When we meet Vince on the show, he's obviously a wayward youth or whatever, and he's kind of got a choice, like figure out your life with this football thing, and he picks it up like that. I mean, there's so much untapped potential with Vince that if he gets it at the college level and then eventually finds a smart coaching staff in the NFL, I think this is a pro starting quarterback for sure.
If I may, real quick though, I think one thing we have to take into account is we never saw Vince play a senior year. We never saw that. And let's think about, sort of the height and weight and stuff. Vince he's not he's not 6'4", 6'5". He's 6 feet. Smash about the same size. I feel like those guys, if you're going to pick which one can succeed, Smash is sort of like prototypical running back size. Vince, you're going to get some of that Kyler Murray stuff.
That's a good point, but I think that, again, that comes back to the point that, when we're looking at this modern era of the NFL, and obviously, like, we're not going to line up completely here with the timeline, but I think that because our understanding of positional thresholds is changing, I mean, at both the running back and the quarterback position, we're seeing guys be thrust into big time roles. Like 20 years ago, people would never have considered someone like Christian McCaffrey to be a full-time running back. I mean, hell, even when he came out of the draft, people were like, this guy can't run between the tackles. He's, the next Danny Woodhead, all that stuff. And obviously, like you mentioned, Kyler Murray being the number 1 overall pick, I think because of those sliding thresholds, I think this is a perfect time for, even if Vince is not the, that hulking typical quarterback size, I think he can come in and find a coaching staff to make it work with them.
Well, I think we saw in Black Panther that he could get really big if he needed to.
Well, that's another thing too. Like I am very confident. You mentioned Michael B. Jordan. I didn't want to go back to the well there, but since you brought it up, look at that guy in Creed, in Black Panther. He's ripped. Okay, this guy can survive the pounding in the NFL. We've seen it. We've seen he's got that.
But that's Michael B. Jordan. We're talking about Vince Howard.
Yeah. Well, look, you brought it up. You brought it up, boss.
All right, I'm more curious to hear you guys talk about more of the rest of these characters. But decision time. Does that mean I have to give my verdict now? Do I have to declare a winner here between you two?
Yeah, this is when you say obviously Smash Williams is the best player. Apologies to Matt Harmon.
Okay, so Harmon's right about the quarterbacks there, and he has the advantage about Michael B. Jordan, the actor. But honestly, I'm a fantasy guy at heart. Possible fantasy football monster, Smash Williams. So I'm giving you the victory. Oz, what do you think, man?
Clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose, man. Texas forever. We are here for it. But I'll be honest, I just love talking about this show. I think Vince is great too. I love Michael B. Jordan. So Matt made some really good arguments. What I am actually most excited about is, I want to talk about more of these guys. Like Matt and I did a little bit of this the other day, which we were preparing. And I want to do more evaluations of who are these people in the future. You guys down? You think it'd be fun?
Let's do it. Yes.
All right. I will tell you the guy I almost picked, and I know Matt, you like him too. I want your Luke Cafferty. I think Luke Cafferty also had a lot of potential.
He was the guy I think both of us kind of picked as maybe our second or third player here. Obviously, you got to go with versatile because he played both sides of the ball. I think I don't want to say I hate to use the word sneaky athletic, but I think again it's that the rangy ability on the defensive side of the ball, and I think again I would go with physicality too, because again he brings that to both sides of the ball. So versatile, physical, and rangy.
Okay, you're going adjectives. I'm just going phrases. So my Luke thing is I know he doesn't go play football. He goes to the Army, but to me let's just assume that we saw it in Smash, right? Smash was going off to some school. They started the next season. They're like, oh, no, wait, he didn't go there. So let's just assume Luke doesn't go to the Army, goes and plays football somewhere. To me, he's like a D2 lottery ticket, man. He's a guy that can go to college, do really well. And you're like, oh, where did this kid come from? Let's draft him. And he turns into something. I love the heart. I love the athleticism. Great character, great player, I thought.
I don't have the phrases for you guys, but I do like that actor too. Another underrated show, an MMA show called Kingdom. He was on that as well. I want to hear your other 3-word avowals. What we got? Coach Taylor, Riggins, Jason Street. Come on, we still have more to cover. I want to hear you guys.
My Tim Riggins is, I think out of all of them, he's the best future coach, right? He had sort of the makeup. I think didn't really have his life together, but he's a guy who I can envision. Coaching the team. If they were doing a reboot, let's say, if they were rebooting the show and Tim Riggins is the coach. So my 3 words are future Coach Taylor.
I like that a lot because, look, we talked about this, Oz. Talk about the most overrated player on the show. This guy does not belong in the modern NFL, or even, I don't even know if he has a fit in college football, Tim Riggins. But I could totally see him. I don't know if he's the future Coach Taylor, but I could see him being that, ornery special teams coach that you see on Hard Knocks, the guy that kind of steals the show because you think, oh, cool, going into it, I might be totally in on the head coach or whatever, but then this whack ass special teams coach comes in there just railing on guys and being a total monster to the bottom third of the roster. I could see Riggins being That guy, and also, since we talked about Michael B. Jordan, shout out to Taylor Kitsch, too. I think underrated as an actor. I don't know if either of you guys or anyone out there listening or watching has watched The Waco on Netflix. He's, like, great in that. We watched it here, and I was like, I cannot believe how I can't believe that this is Tim Riggins, and now he's this ultra-convincing cult leader. Great. So,
well, goes off into football coaching, right? If you could be a cult leader, you could probably be a football coach, too.
Nailed it. Yeah, exactly.
I thought he was going to be the star that came out of this, though. Like, I thought, Michael B. Jordan, obviously, I wasn't at the time. I wasn't thinking he was going to be the star, but I remember thinking, oh, Tim Riggins, that guy's just going to go on to be, all this stuff. And he did the John Carter movie or whatever, and he did the Battleship movie, and you're just like, man.
And he did True Detective Season 2, which was terrible.
All right, so I'm going to throw out one based on what they did afterwards. Is, again, not a great football player, but one of the good characters in the show, LANDRY CLARKE. And my 3 words are better cooking meth. He's a better meth cook than he is a football player.
Coach Taylor, is he the number 1 pick over all this, though? By the way, I know he gets criticized for some of his usage with the clock, but is he the true number 1? Is he the Belichick, the true number 1 pick here?
I don't know that he's Belichick. Way too much like charisma. I think you could look at him as he's much more feisty, I think, than Belichick. So I definitely think, though, maybe not quite as crazy as Jim Harbaugh, but maybe like John Harbaugh type energy.
Like a Pete Carroll.
Yeah, Pete. I don't know. Pete's like just totally off the wall, so that's a tough one. But I think John Harbaugh, because again, we've seen Coach Taylor thrive in 2 different type of situations, and I think the Ravens have obviously he's had that sort of career awakening, middle of his career as a head coach, like a guy who was kind of on the ropes, went from a Flacco-led defensive heavy team to now they've got Lamar. I think that's a pretty good analogy. I think a guy who's a top 3 head coach in the NFL right now.
We have to do, the people are going to get mad if we don't do Matt Saracen. So we got to do Matt Saracen. I'm going Texas Tim Tebow, right? Like he sort of wins the big games, not really that good. And you're like, oh man, yeah, Matt Saracen.
Well done, guys. Congratulations, Oz, on your huge victory. Talking Friday Night Lights. Thanks for watching Boxed In. Catch new episodes on Yahoo Sports every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Please rate and review us wherever you listen to podcasts. And thanks again, guys. Good times.